How's it going, everyone? My name is Henk, and today I'm going to be revisiting an old investment platform that we have looked at previously quite a few years ago, which is Investnow. Now, I have compared Investnow with other investment platforms such as Sharesy, such as Hatch, such as Stake in the past in different videos, and I want to just go back to the Investnow platform itself to see whether or not it has updated and become more user-friendly. Because in the past, one of the main concerns with Investnow itself is while it's got a pretty good range in terms of selection of funds, the interface itself still leaves a lot to be desired. So I'm just going to go back and take a look at all of that. We're also, of course, going to take a look at the fees, the interface of the platform, the range of funds that they have on offer, how you can set up orders for buy and sell, and also order investments, and documents that they have that you can use for taxes, and of course, who is most suitable for the platform. So here we are in the homepage of the Investnow platform. Everything looks pretty much the same as it did a couple of years back when I first did the review. You still get a percentage view of what kind of investments that you invested in. So in my situation, I have around 90% in managed fund and around 10% in terms of ETFs. And further below, you see the list of the funds that you have actually been invested in. If we go to the Fund Selector tab and go to Advanced View, we can scroll down and see how much each of the fund actually charges. So the charges range anywhere between 0.05 to around 1.5% per year. Now, they currently have more than 150 funds that they have on offer. And in the Advanced tab, they also shows you the 1-year return of the particular fund and also the 5-year return. And then you can choose to invest now to select one of the funds that you want to invest in and then put money into that particular fund. Now in the Advanced tab, you can also search for a specific fund company, different kind of management styles, including active and passive, different types of funds, which includes PI funds and the AUTs, whether or not they have a particular distribution frequency for their dividends, different categories of funds, and the charges for the actual funds itself. In terms of what's on offer, Investnow also has a range of term deposits that they have on offer with different banks that they work with. So within the table here, you can see some of the major banks that they have term deposits on offers. So for example, ANZ, they have term deposits for 12 months of 5.55% at the moment. And they also have BNZ, Heartland Bank and SBS Bank. So you can also set up term deposits from this menu here. In terms of the Performance tab, now this is the place where there's still a lot to be desired because it only shows the simple percentage return for your total managed funds since inception and for the last 12 months and since the last calendar month. And it sorts your assets into these bar graphs that shows you the return of each of the funds that you have invested in. Now, this is really not a lot of information. If you want to see how much your investment has grown or declined over the years, it doesn't actually show you information on that. If you click on the individual fund itself and select more, it does show an advanced markets chart for the fund that you have selected. However, this market chart does not directly relate to the amount that you have invested in your portfolio. So this is just a generic market charts that shows the growth or decline of the particular fund over time. So this is just a general chart, and it's not particularly useful or specific to your own individual investments. So in terms of showing performances of your portfolio, Investnow does quite a bad job of showing your increases and decline over the period of time that you are invested in. It just shows you a whole number at the very end. The orders and sales tab basically allows you to make individual orders and sell your individual funds that you have invested in. You can also go to My Plan to set up auto regular investments. So if we click Create, you can specify the amount that you want to invest in, and this can be done either weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or every 6 months. So you can specify a starting time and also an ending time, or just say that there's no end date. The minimum amount of investment for each fund is $50. And then from the funds here, you can select the funds that you want to invest in. Again, you see the fees that's associated with each particular fund and the returns over 1 year period and return over 5 year period. So auto investment is a great feature that I think a lot of people should try to use, because it essentially automates your investment process, and you don't really have to think anymore about, I have to put in certain amount of money every 1 week or 2 weeks. You can just automate the entire process itself, and then you can further add into your investment if you have spare money to invest. The last useful tab is the My Documents tab, which you can see your investor report and also your tax summary. Within a tax summary, you can quickly see the dividends that you have received and your dividends from the different listed PI funds. And it also does a quick calculation of your FIF income using both the FDR method and also the CV method. Now, if you're not sure what to do with all these figures, you can bring this document to your accountant and they can help figure it out for you. So what are the pros and cons of using Investnow? Now, the main pro is, again, Investnow does not charge fees for using the platform itself. Instead, they get money from the fund managers and the cash that you have in your transactional account within your Investnow account. And they get certain interest from having cash in the account. Of course, the fund managers still charge you an annual fee and a buy-sell spread for actually purchasing and or selling the fund itself. So again, Investnow is a pretty cheap alternative to using a lot of the other brokerage platforms, which either charge you per transaction or have some sort of monthly fee. Now, there's a couple of main downsides when it comes to using Investnow. And the first one is that the transactions are still not instantaneous, which means that if you were to buy or sell a particular fund, it can take up to 2 days for the transaction to occur. So basically, they pull together all the orders and send it to the particular fund managers, and then they would execute the transactions. And this may take up to 2 working days. So it's pretty much impossible to use Investnow if you want to quickly buy a certain dip in the market or sell exactly when you see a peak in the market. So Investnow is really not for timing the market, but for if you want to do some sort of long-term investments. In terms of interface, Investnow is severely behind in terms of interface, because compared to a lot of the other platforms such as Sharesies, Hatch, Tiger Brokers, Stake, and all those other brokerage platforms, they actually have charts that show you your gains and losses for your individual portfolio. Now, Investnow simply does not have that, and they just give you a number saying that yes, you have gained a certain percentage or a certain amount. And in these days, this is simply not good enough when it comes to an investment platform. So ultimately, who should use Investnow? Investnow is good for anyone that wants to invest in a particular fund that they have on offer, and they can aggregate all these funds into one platform. So currently they have more than 150 different funds from multiple different fund managers on offer. If you're interested in investing in multiple of these funds, you can all consolidate them into this one platform, which just makes managing all these funds a lot easier. Investnow is definitely more suitable for long-term investors and definitely not really for short-term traders, because you can't buy and sell your funds in real time. So would I still recommend Investnow after all these years? Well, the simple answer is yes, because they're still one of the only platforms that doesn't charge you a fee or to buy and sell your different funds, and they don't charge a monthly management fee. So the fees are charged by the fund manager, and you can't get away from that either case. The lack of graphing option, while quite annoying, it's still not a complete deal breaker if you are a long-term investor. So it's still a good platform, but again, it's still quite dated and it hasn't really been updated in quite a few years. And I just don't see them really actively trying to improve on that front, because they're one of the only websites that offer different types of funds for people to purchase.